Welcome everybody to a new episode of the Startup Show. Today I have the big pleasure to be here at the headquarters of Archilogic together with the CEO and co-founder Kaspar. So welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome back to a new show of the Startup Show here together with Kaspar, the CEO and co-founder of Archilogic. So please tell us first a little bit about your background.
I'm actually an educated architect. I studied architecture here in Zurich, and before we founded Archilogic, we also founded an architectural company. We built houses, we built galleries, we built private homes, and we always had issues in communication with the client and communication of the space. So we early realized that there is huge potential for disruption in that. We also built our own furniture pieces. So we always were in design and building, constructing, but we always had a very, very digital approach. So we always realized that architecture and production is not something that you necessarily do just in the silent room, but you actually do it connected to the world, and you always have an impact on the world. Mm-hmm. So communication was always super important for us.
Right. Yeah. So I know whenever I do these interviews, people really like to hear some personal life. So tell us a little bit about for example, where you grew up, your hobbies, family. Something about your hobbies, maybe, yeah?
Yeah, so I grew up totally on the countryside. So, but since I'm a small child, I'm a huge gamer. I love games. I'm a StarCraft addict, basically. Watch the entire StarCraft scene all the time. The global finals were just around the corner. I love that. I'm also going in the nature a lot. I'm a lot in climbing, just with my partner. I've been in Nepal for a month hiking. We love the nature, and so there's a huge kind of a duality between the fictional world and the nature, and I think this reality is super important for me. I love traveling a lot. We were just recently in India, amazing country, a huge potential, I think. Not only for us, but globally, we have to focus our attention more on this subcontinent. It's really impressive. I used to rap when I was a teenager, but these days...
So we can do this whole video interview in rapping form.
Yeah, it's gonna take us 3 days. So before every sentence I will have to take notes, and I was never that good in freestyling.
Okay, so maybe tell us a little bit about the company you co-founded, Archilogic. What you do there and how you started it.
So actually, what is really important if we talk about the company, it's not only talk about me, but about the co-founders as well. So we founded it as 4 guys, all of them architects, which is a bit atypical. If you normally start a startup, you have a finance guy, a tech guy, a marketing guy, sales guy. We were all architects, and we used to know each other from the studies. With Thomas, our CTO, I actually know him since I'm 14 or something. We used to go to high school together. And with the other two, we had the architectural company. And then one day, Thomas, we lost each other for a couple of years, and he came back with this amazing prototype that blew our mind. It was basically, he came to us and showed us a website that was displaying 3D content as if it was a 3D program. And for us, that was so mind-blowing that we immediately dropped whatever we were doing in that very moment. And it was 2 construction sites, and we said, okay, we're going to do that. That's amazing. That has so much potential because it's connecting the visual quality and the quality of communication in space with the web. And this is a new thing. And so we immediately said, okay, that's it. That's what we're going to do the next couple of years. And we started working on it. From the first day on, basically went into the market asking people, what do you think about that? Most of the people that we asked in real estate first said, I don't care, as long, it has to look pretty. Most of them didn't see the potential of the web behind the visualization. But that changed more and more, and nowadays we have this platform that is much more than just a visualization. It's connecting the virtual world and the real world. It's connecting furniture and interiors. It connects addresses and the semantics of our environment. It became something that is much more than just a representation of space. it is something that lets you work with space. You know?
Yeah, maybe you can give a little example of exactly who it's meant to be for. How do you use it?
What our technology does is we have a web-based 3D engine that lets you display things in an architectural context. Full 3D models, that's really an actual 3D program that runs in the web. And then in the back end, we have basically a platform which is a database of interior spaces. A database that is semantically, so every element in our platform is in a way self-aware. A wall knows that it is a wall, a door knows that it is. This is important because it's no longer just stupid pixel data, but it is information that can be referred and be connected and also analyzed. And then we have a production kind of pipeline, a feed into this platform. And this feed is partly manual, partly automated. We are teaching machines to read floor plans. That gives us actually a huge scalability in the production of these assets and feeding of this database. And what is it good for, right? The first applications were fairly simple. If someone wanted to sell a house or rent it, and he wanted to teach other people what the house looks like and how does it work, not only how does the kitchen look like, but how is it arranged, send us a floor plan, and within a couple of hours we sent a fully furnished, rendered 3D model back, and they can implement it in property portals. Now we're live with some of the biggest European property portals fully integrated already in their entire production pipeline. So that's something really nice. So real estate was really important for us, still is really important for us. But the longer we develop the platform, the more new applications come to the platform. So there's a lot of furnishing going on, people that do it professionally. Interior designers use the tool because it's really easy. You do a couple of changes, and as your client has the same link, he can then see your results in real time, answers. So communication about space is made really easy. And there's a lot of private individuals just that have a floor plan of some house they want to buy or they already have, they want to refurbish. And they basically use the platform to work with the space as if it were a physical model, but in a way more intuitive, easy way.
Visual way.
In a visual way, of course. But to come back to the platform, so that the core of the platform is really a global database of interior spaces. And it is the visuals are a very important representation of this data, but it is not necessarily the only way you can work with it. So you can analyze the data purely numeric ways. You can ask how many houses in Zurich have 3-bedroom apartments, how are they arranged, how is the lighting conditions. You can basically ask this data much more than just how do you look. It's and in partnerships with other startups also from Zurich that you might visit later, we are analyzing the data also way deeper. We are asking how do the spaces feel we live in. So how is the temperature, how is the lighting conditions, how is the noise, how do they sound, and this gives us a lot of information about the value of these spaces, but also about the comfort of our living situation. How do our cities really work for us? And I think Google mapped the entire world from the outside, and we are filling in the gaps, so to say. We're doing the inside, and as we spend about 85% of our times indoor, that's quite an important part of our life.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, you briefly mentioned in the introduction about like how you shifted slowly from an architecture office to realizing that like now is the time to digitalize this whole process. How did that feel? How did you come up with that with that thought that like, now is the time to switch?
So the moment when Thomas showed us the alpha of the technology, that was absolutely clear that this is the thing. We have to go with that. That's amazing. It blew our mind, literally. But before that, Frederick and Pascal and I, we were already using 3D on a daily basis. It was our life. We earned our money through not only building houses, but also doing visualizations. When Thomas put that entire thing into the web, it was a split-second decision. It was not that we had to sit there and think, oh, should we do that or not? But it was, okay, let's drop it. Let's do the web and 3D thing. What afterwards came, we had to, of course, finish the construction sites. And we had to kind of adapt to a completely new way of doing business. If you're an architect, you basically live in a project business. Your acquisition is hyper-personal. You have your clients, you talk with them, you develop their story. Your way of doing business is you have a huge project and you have a gap where you go to holidays or you try to acquire the next business. And if you're in a startup, this is not how you work. This is completely something different, and we had to learn that. We had to acquire the skills. Yeah. Very early, also learn that there are skills we simply didn't have. So we had to bring on new people. One of the most important people that joined the company was Cédric Bollag, really early on, coming from a venture capital background, helping us also structuring the entire financing part of a startup, which is vital. Most of the startups die because somewhere after the seed, they just don't get the business to the next stage, to the Series A, that helps you then really scale what you're doing.
I mean, that's known as a Swiss problem. It's not this. It's not. I'm not sure about globally, but I know for a fact here in Switzerland, it's very hard to get post seed A.
Yeah, but I think in Switzerland it's not necessarily a problem of the startups not having the knowledge how to do that, but it's a kind of an investor problem. There's not too many investors in Switzerland that are willing to go into this second phase where you have to. I'm not saying there's not enough money, obviously.
No, money is enough. But
exactly. But the risk behavior is a bit different here, and the Series A is really where you have to take quite some money and trust still in something that has a proven record, but still some vision part. And it's where most of the startups struggle these days to find funding. And many of them have to go internationally to fundraise, which is a bad thing. We should have this culture here much more. And I'm really hoping that now that more and more Swiss startups already achieve exits and more and more early funders bring their money back to the table and help other companies grow, we're getting this culture up. It's really something that goes over generations.
Yeah, it's also like the culture of being scared to fail.
Yeah.
So like there's not as many investors because they're scared that they're going to lose their money, you know, with the statistics. So it's interesting where we're heading. And so we have here the HTC Vive virtual reality headset. Hyped, overhyped? What do you think? Is that something that we are going to use lately? I was on a flight, someone was sitting there with this, watching a movie like that. I'm not sure.
It's probably not the HTC.
No, but it was the Samsung. It was the Samsung. But I'm saying, like, overall, like, do you think, what is the future of the virtual reality headset?
First of all, it will change the way we play video games, absolutely.
Yeah.
Me as a gamer, it changes not only your spatial perception, it changes time around you. Normally talk about video games, people have to get used to the controllers and everything. We had a 75-year-old guy here yesterday. We strapped a thing on top of his head and he was literally playing for an hour like a child. And there was no warming up phase. It was just, he did it. That's it. It's as natural. And he didn't realize that an hour went on. He said, after 5 minutes, I got a headache, so I had to stop doing it. You were in there for an hour. And so that's definitely, there is a hyper-addictive potential behind these kinds of devices, which are amazing and it's mind-blowing. But how will it change? There's so many predictions on how it's going to change the way we work, it's going to change the way we communicate, and there's beautiful science fiction novels about that. I'm a huge fan of Ready Player One, a book that changes basically the entire real economic broke down and the game took over, and this game is way more important than the actual physical reality. I'm not sure we're going there. But I love the devices, I love the potential. I wouldn't say it's overhyped. A lot of people say this is like going from a black and white TV to a color TV. I don't think so. It's really going from radio to TV. It's a new way of telling stories,
right.
of letting people interact with content. And it's actually interactive. It's you are part of the story. You are the centerpiece in most cases of the stories, and this is very, very much in line of our time.
Yeah.
So for us personally, we are still on an experimental level. Of course, we're benefiting a bit from the hype as well, but this is one of the outputs, like the Web 3D part of our database. It's one of the applications. There's many, many more that interest us as well.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing started with the acquisition of Oculus Rift by Facebook. That's when it actually got very noticed, I would say. And now there are rumors from, something with mixed reality or augmented reality with Apple coming out soon in 2017. So it's interesting to see what's coming. My personal opinion is that like we're probably not going to walk around with them, but for certain industries it might be very interesting. Mm-hmm. As you said, like architecture might be interesting. Also for physical therapy might be interesting. Yeah. Gaming, they're always first up when it's about adapting new technologies. Yeah. One last question to wrap up today's show about entrepreneurship. There was probably at some point where you had to decide like, you seem very convinced about the technology, which is good, but it's saying like you probably sometimes doubt or like you see competitors around. How do you deal with those daily up and downs as a startup founder, the CEO of a company?
So first of all, as an architect, you're always entrepreneurial. There's from the beginning on, everyone tells you basically you have to go out and make your own company, and there's a lot of struggles. And to be honest, when competition was never won, so the market is so new and wide that when we saw competition, we were really happy about it because it kind of proves there is a market, right? Actually, my normal instinct is if I see competition and they do cool stuff, I try to get in contact. So if competition is out there, please get involved. I really like to chat because the pond is deep enough. Let's learn from each other. Let's grow together. There's other struggles. There's always times. Startups, per definition, is a race against the clock. It's a race against the burn. And there's always moments where you doubt, but you never doubt the core idea.
Yeah. And
the core idea is what leads you, what brings you to the next stages, and it's this vision that carries you. It's the daily things that might sometimes just be annoying, but the vision itself brings you over that easily.
Right. I really like the thought, just to repeat again, like where you said like to help each other. I think that mentality made, like for example, the Silicon Valley and Tel Aviv very, very famous, very strong. Mm-hmm. I try to encourage that also here in Switzerland with various initiatives. So I think it's very nice to wrap up this episode. Thank you very much for being part of the show. Thank you everyone for watching the show, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again on another show. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.